Hola guys and girls, and welcome to the team builder for week 6 of the PMC Pokemon Masters Cup. We are up versus the Colorado Rapidash, coached by none other than Omega V. We are coming off a very nice win, 5-0 win last week. So we are currently sitting at 4-1 going into week 6. We are facing Omega V, which is sadly having the total other way around in record. He's currently 1-4. So we are actually taking a break from fighting all these undefeated teams, which is very nice, but still we can't underestimate anyone in this league. We battled close to no one in this league before. We had Johnny, which battled before, sadly we lost to him, so I guess it's nice that they beat new people because apparently we win versus them. But yeah, we can't underestimate anyone. We have to go into this game yeah, basically blind, not knowing how the opponent plays, just looking at the team. We have to go on that, and the rest we have to find out in game. So far that worked out well for us. Let's hope that does this week as well. So now let's just go over his team real quick so you can see what we're actually dealing with right here. And he got the Zapdos, the Mimikyu, the Arcanine, Toxicroak, the Terrakion, Hitmontop, Diggersby, Mega Blastoise, Regice, Espeon, and Audino. His two Z-move users being the Mimikyu and the Hitmontop. Of course, I'm not scared of the Hitmontop, but kind of like it with my draft. Like, no one is scared of the Lurantis, but you have to be scared of the other Z users, which is the Z Mimikyu, of course. So yeah, we have to look out for that. Overall, pretty, I want to say, yes, a few amount of threats, but they are very threatening, and the rest is just, yes, very nice checks to a lot of my monsters. For example, Zapdos. I'm expecting the most Def Zapdos because that's a great check to my, Mega Pidgeot. Then his biggest threats actually are the Mega Blastoise. You always underestimate Mega Blastoise. The problem with that is that's one of the mons which are just too bulky. They always take a hit. You're not overcoming your Mega Blastoise buying with a very strong hit, but then why is your opponent staying in? You have to plan to basically trade one round of Blastoise. You put something in, it dies in the process of doing a lot of damage, and then you send something into Revenge Kill. So that's always the problem with Mega Blastoise. It's easily overlooked, but in the match it's actually pretty hard to deal with. Then we got the Diggersby, which is just a huge threat. The Diggersby, in my opinion, is the biggest threat he has on his team. It's stronger than Terrakion, it's a bit slower, but that can be dealt with Choice Scarf, and that's where the problem lies. Diggersby has so many special sets. Like, Choice Bandit doesn't have any switch-ins. So, Choice Scarf, you need switches, otherwise it's sweeping you. Then it could be like Agility variant, it could be a Sword Sense variant. There's so many stuff Diggersby can do, and the prep for each is different. Because a Choice Bandit just only switches, but it's easily revenge killed. With a Choice Scarf set, it's not that easily revenge killed, since it outspeeds most of the other monsters, and then just goes for return and boom, you're dead. So that's where a bit of a problem lies. Terrakion, of course, is a big threat as well, but since it's not a Z-mon, actually, I can actually have a nice amount of checks to that, or I have Mew, but let's say like that, I have Mew, which is a good check to that, and then the Mimikyu, which of course is Z. So Mew, like Mega Blastoise, since it's not that bulky, but due to its ability Disguise, you basically have to plan as well. You're sacking one mon to break the Disguise, and like it sets up on the free turn, then you do a little damage, and then you KO it with a different mon. Basically, Mimikyu is similar to Mega Blastoise as well, but Mimikyu of course has way more sweeping potential if your team is too weak to +2 Shadow Sneak. Thankfully, I have a good amount of mons which are either immune to Shadow Sneak in Mega Pidgeot or resist Shadow Sneak like my Sneasel and are faster than it. So he basically isn't sweeping me with Mimikyu, but I have to basically expect to lose a mon versus it. So yeah, that's his team. Then he got some off mons like the Regice, which could do work, but I'm not really expecting it to come. Then other thing to note is his Rockers are pretty, yeah, they're pretty. That's all. He has Diggersby, which can set up spikes. He has Terrakion, which can set up rocks. And that's his hazards. That's his hazard. I'm not expecting hazards from him, so that's why I'm not bringing hazard removal. On the other hand, hazard builds him are very nice. He does have Toxic Croaks, so Toxic Spikes is potentially not an option. And then you got the Arcanine. Arcanine, like, I kind of always overlook Arcanine in prep. I always see Arcanine, yeah, most likely gonna be like defense or something, and then the opponent brings offensive Arcanine, and then I figure out that I don't really have switches to that. That's what happens a lot to Arcanine. I made sure that this won't happen again. So yeah, we actually see in team prep how that works. But yeah, that's his team. Now let's move over to the monster I actually bring to this team. First up, we got, of course, our Mew with Psychium Z, Psyshock, Giga Drain, Softball, and Calm Mind. Enough speed to outspeed a max speed Diggersby, which is actually the same speed here as Mega Blastoise, so we speed creep that as well. And we are defensive. This is my main check to the Terrakion. I can take basically a lot of hits from that. I can take life hits from that. I can't take Choice Bandit hits from that, sadly, but if he's Choice Bandit, I have a lot of resistances to that. I don't think to bring a Choice Bandit variant, I have Nidoqueen, which is both his stabs. He would have to rely on Earthquake, and if his Choice Bandit is something else, then Nidoqueen is a check to that. So that's why I'm not thinking it would be a Choice variant. But this thing is important for the Diggersby as well. It is a switch-in. if it's Choice Scarf once again, and then I do outspeed, I go for Giga Drain. And if he's if he's Choice Banded, then he's slower than me, I go for Giga Drain. If he's Choice Scarf, he's faster than me, but then he doesn't crit KO me. That's basically what I want to say with this investment. I decided to go Giga Drain over Will-O-Wisp, so that I can still hit the Digger Speed even if Mystic Terrain is up, because that was kind of a problem. At first I had Will-O-Wisp there, and with the same thought process, if Digger Speed is Choice Banded, I can live one hit, then go for Will-O-Wisp. If he's Choice Scarf, he won't KO me, and then I can just burn it if he's Choice Banded, and then he won't be able to deal that much damage to my team as well. But then I looked at that, I brought the Finny, and then I thought, okay, if Mystic Terrain is up, that whole strategy is out of the window. That's why I have Digger Drain rather. It doesn't OHKO Digger Speed, of course, because I'm not invested, barring a setup of Calm Minds. But with Digger Drain, I can do a good amount of damage and get some recovery and potentially lift some future hits. I have Z actually not here because I thought, okay, let's sweep something with Z Psyshock. I actually just want to have a Z Crystal so I can take the knockoffs from Digger Speed better, because Choice Scarf knockoff actually could 2-hit KO me if I'm not a Z Crystal variant. So that's why I decided to ramp Psychium Z there. I have the Calm Mind just there because, depending on his team, like a lot of his slow ones I just outspeed and deal with. The only thing that really outspeed me and threaten me are the Zapdos Penalty, which I'm expecting to be more defensive variant, so that's not outspeeding me. Mimikyu, which of course is a threat. Shadow Claw does a lot to my team. Do this Mew. Then Arcanine, which I'm, like I said, not expecting to be offensive, which I usually do with Arcanine, like I already mentioned. And then you got Terrakion, which I take the hits from. Espeon, which I take the hits from. And then potentially Sargent Digger Speed, which I take the hits from. So that's why I have Calm Mind right here with a few Calm Minds up. He basically has nothing that deals with my Mew. And all those faster mons don't really deal with my Mew either. And Giga Drain is nice, of course, as well, to potentially 1v1 the Mega Blastoise, because once I'm at +1, I do 1v1 the Blastoise. Dark Pulse still does a lot to me, but with Giga Drain, I will come out on top. If severely weakened, that's sad, but I will actually beat Mega Blastoise if he's max protect models, max HP. If he's a more speedy variant, then of course it just does the job easier in 1v1ing that thing. That's basically Mew. Be a defensive sponge, and potentially even be a defensive setup mod if his team is more defensive. And if his team is more offensive, of course I need to keep the thing healthy to be a switcher. Next up, we got Smash, Ketchum, the Tyrantrum, the Head Smash, Dragon Claw, Zen Headbutt, and Rock Polish. Fun fact, all of his rock resists are weak to Psychic, that's why I have actually Zen Headbutt, not Earthquake. Then Dragon Claw just as my option, step option if I don't want to miss, because sadly Zen Headbutt and Head Smash both want to miss. And then I have the Rock Polish variant, enough speed to outspeed a Choice Scarf Terrakion at +2. And then I have the Hearthstone there to basically, because even though he has a few resistance to Head Smash, mainly potentially the Intimidate Fizzy defensive hit on top. Other than that, Terrakion doesn't really take Head Smash as well, even if he resists, and other than that, everything else just doesn't take Head Smash. It's Toxicroak, of course, as well, this fighting type. Doesn't take Head Smash as well. And that Headbutt, of course, offers that. But with the Hearthstone, basically, in the first few turns, I will just use this as a wall breaker, mainly to break through the Zapdos, because like you will see later, my Mega Pidgeot does have U-turn, so I can U-turn on the Zapdos switch in, bring in Tyrantrum, click Head Smash, and do a lot of damage to something. That's where you most likely think with the Hearthstone boosted Head Smash that I'm Choice Banded, because that's the only way I do this amount of damage, depending on rolls, of course. If I get low rolls, you might still think I'm Choice Scarf or something. But the Hearthstone's there to bluff that I'm Choice Banded if I click Head Smash, and that's where I can potentially catch him by going for a Rock Polish on a turn where he thinks like I'm blocked into something, switch into something, or stays in versus something. I go for Rock Polish and then potentially sweep his team. That's where I have the Hearthstone here. Did want to have Life Orb because that does of course recoil damage to me, and there's nice revenge kill options in the, like I said, in the Hitmontop, with which Mark Punch actually does a good amount of damage to me, even though I have good defenses. That's why I decided I don't want to have chip myself down to die to Mark Punch. That's why I prefer the Hearthstone. Hearthstone, not Hearthstone. That's an RNG infested card game no one likes. But yeah, that's why I have the Hearthstone, to bluff the Choice Band and to not weaken myself if I would have the Life Orb. That's Tyrantrum for you. Late game sweeping option with bluffing first. Next up, we got Nips, the Nidoqueen with Black Slug, Fizzy defensive with Earthquake, Ice Punch, Stealth Rock, and Toxic Spikes as well. Just this is enough speed actually to outspeed a max speed modest Regice and Audino. I know, very unlikely, he might be like a Rock Polish Regice, but to be honest, I just want to have a little speed on this Nidoqueen so I don't get speed free by anything, and then max speed modest Regice just seemed like something it's worth to hit without having to invest too much speed so that I lose out on bulk. So it's a pretty random speed, I agree. But yeah, I just want to get speed grip by something on his team. Like he does a little speed on his Regice to outspeed my Nidoqueen, didn't want that. And yeah, then I have some speed F as well, so I can take on physically defensive Zapdos. I'm not 2-hit KO'd by no special attack extrasensory. and the defense is there, so I can deal with the Mimikyu. This is my answer to the Mimikyu. Like I said, it's a decent check to Terrakion as well, but Earthquake does a lot sadly, and this thing doesn't have reliable recovery. For Terrakion, I will mainly use my Mew. This thing is there for the Mimikyu. Switching to that, basically 1v1 this thing with Earthquake, because even though I don't have Poison Jab, Earthquake does a lot to this thing. I'd only need a few rounds of chip damage to KO it with Earthquake. And then I have Ice Punch there because Ground Ice is just great coverage with this team. Ice Punch mainly there for the Zapdos. Like I said, Zapdos is faster than me, so I can chip him down with Ice Punch. If he goes for Roost, I can go for Earthquake potentially, then do a lot of damage to his team. Then, instead of Toxic Spikes. Toxic Spikes are very nice to this team, barring he brings the Toxic Rock. If I see Toxic Rock, I already know, okay, I'm not putting up Toxic Spikes, I have to rely on Rocks. Rocks, of course, are still very nice, chipping down on Zapdos mainly, getting some the necessary chip of Mimikyu. So not only for this thing to deal with it, but my next one as well. And in general, Rocks are always nice, you know what Rocks do. But Toxic Spikes, like I said, very nice potential versus team, barring as a Toxic Rock, then I'm basically not clicking it. But yeah, that's Nidoqueen for you. Mainly there for Mimikyu is a good side check to the Terrakion as well. Like if Diggersby is Rock to return, I can take that as well. Physically bulky, go for Ice Punch. You know what Nidoqueen does, it's bulky, does a lot of damage, that's up hazards. That's Nips for, yeah. Next up we got Gesundheit, Choice Band as Sneasel is back with Knockoff, Ice Crash, Pursuit, and Ice Shard. He is a very nice switch into Sneasel, which is the Mega Blastoise. If it's Vistef, it of course is have a weak knockoff with that because it's a Mega and it resists Ice Crash. So yeah, that's a very nice switch in. That's why I want to have Pursuit. There's nothing really I want to Pursuit Trap, Byron, potentially the Espeon, but in general, if you switch something out with that and it's scared out, then I can just pick Pursuit and get a lot of damage on something in comparison to not getting a lot of damage onto the Mega Blastoise switch in. And then Choice Band Ice Shard is nice as well because that potentially deals with Choice Scarf Diggersby. Just need a little bit of chip on that. Choice Band Ice Shard does around 60 to 70%, and then I can revenge kill that. And yeah, Choice Band Knockoff is great as well because that has actually a chance to OHKO a Mimikyu. Just need to break the the disguise, and then I can potentially OHKO it with Knockoff. And yeah, like I said, I resist the Shadow Sneak, so even at +2, +4, +6, it's not OHKOing me. Of course, I'm weakened. I have to watch out. Like if Rocks up with me, Cheese gets easily worn down, but of course, looking at his team, his only rock is Terrakion, so I'm not really scared of Rocks versus him. But yeah, overall, Sneasel, Choice Band, Pursuit is nice. Knockoff, it's only stab options, but that's all you need on Choice Band and Sneasel. Enough speed, of course, to outspeed and max speed Terrakion. Then next up, we got Walnut, our Choice Scarf, Tapu Fini, Moonblast, Surf, Knockoff, and Trick. Enough speed to outspeed a max speed Diggersby, I think. It's the same speed as Mew, right? Yeah, it's the same speed as Mew. So outspeed Choice Scarf, Diggersby, Choice Scarf, Mega Blastoise. Yes, that's for now on, that's the thing. Outspeed that as well. But yeah, this is my main switch into the Mega Blastoise. During the Cards, Mega Blastoise doesn't really any coverage for me. He doesn't really have the space to put a hidden power for Tapu Fini. But like all these moves which are boosted by Mega Launcher are resisted basically. Aurostea resisted, Dark Force resisted, Water moves resisted, Ice Beam resisted. This Fini is just a great check, and I don't need much bulk for that to be a check to that. And Choice Scarf Fini is overall nice to catch him off guard. He has no Mon which resists both Fairy and Water coverage. So spamming one of those is very nice. Arcanine is basically his only Fairy resist. Other than that, he has no Fairy resist. Everything gets at least a Nutrient from that, and then he has a few weaknesses to Water as well. And then I have Trick and Knockoff, basically just as filler moves, because I'm not really expecting to click anything other than Moonblast or Surf. Knockoff is just there in case I need to Knockoff on something, and then Trick in case I feel like I don't need a Scarf and I want to like trick the Audino or something like that. So, but overall, that's just Tapu Fini there, being a surprise to basically, like I bring it in with Blastoise, he switches out with something, gets hit with Moonblast, and then I can 2-hit KO with Moonblast because I suddenly outspeed him. If he's not Choice Scarf Terrakion, this is a nice check to that as well. Overall, Choice Scarf Tapu Fini putting a lot of work with his team. And then last but not least, we got our Jesus, the Mega Pidgeot. Like I already said, I have this then the U-turn out versus Zapdos. Basically, it's check, the U-turn out versus check, then go into my Tyrantrum, then bluff the Choice Band, and then my whole plan goes in motion with this team. Other than that, I have Hurricane and Hit Power Ice. His only flying resist is the Zapdos. That's weak to Hit Power Ice. And then I work up to boost my attacks even further. Because once Zapdos is a bit weakened with repeated Hurricanes and Confusion Chance Penalty and Rocks, I can go for a workup on the switch and go for Hit Power Ice and then potentially 2-hit KO him. Basically, that's spam with Mega Pidgeot. It's just a very nice one speed-wise, faster than this whole team, barring Scarfers. He has a good check to that in Zapdos, but once that is down, he has no Hurricane switches at all. And yeah, I just Hurricane and have a fun time with my boy Mega Pidgeot. That is the whole team, of course. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. We will see the match tomorrow versus Omega V and his team. Who will be the MVP? Make your guesses right now. You will find out tomorrow. But that's all from me. I hope you did enjoy. Hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, all links in the description, and I will see you later. Ciao.